Of the real Bears, Mike Ditka was in full form. While on the field, the Bear defense accorded 7 sacks to the Philadelphia quarterbacks. Chicago went on to win 35-3. In Minnesota, a 37-year-old quarterback named Tony Adams teamed up with James Brim for one of the Viking touchdowns, but a strong Minnesota team before the strike was defeated by Green Bay's non-union regulars by a count of 23-17. So as a result today, Chicago leads the division by 1 game.
Football League, the USFL, Arena Football, 35 points on the board last week, did a good job, 3 touchdowns. In Tony Adams, you have a guy with no aspirations at 37 years old to go into the National Football League. All he wants to do is play well. He threw for 235 yards last week. He thinks he can play well enough for him to win today.
He's played with the USL Federals in the Canadian League with Toronto and Ottawa, Pit Gladiators of the Arena League, and now with the Chicago Bears. And the Bears went to the Arena League, and look at the number of players they've had who played in that league, that summer league. Offensively, the Bears line up with Sean McInerney. Guy Tiefetiller will open at left tackle. Jim Altoff, who had a terrific game a week ago, and John Norris complete the defensive line. Linebackers are Bobby Bell, Mike January, and Jay Norvell.
That's a familiar name, Bobby Bell.
And Jerry Burns looks on.
That's a good quarterback sneak situation, even for a 37-year-old. They don't do it. They're going to hand it off.
And they don't get it.
Good defense, 47.
Egypt Allen out of Texas Christian University, who had a blocked punt last week.
You think he's fired up? 5 tackles last week. He was in the Bears training camp in 1986.
And he is joined by Hohensee, the former University of Minnesota Gopher, Anthony Mosley in the backfield, Ken Napchek, and Glenn Kozlowski.
You skipped Hemuli.
I've done him twice already. Oliver, Wojciechowski, Rodenhauser, Relk, Harris, and Brian Glasgow.
On the way back to the game, CBS Sports has just learned that strike talks between Jack Donlin and Gene Upshaw will break off. A formal announcement expected about half an hour. And, of course, we'll have full details at halftime. Let's send you back to Vern Lundquist.
All right, Brent, that is not unexpected news, but not good news.
Bad news, bad news. And I was so optimistic, Vern. I thought the thing would be over like Wednesday of last week. And I think each day that it goes on, it's just going to double in the time it takes to really get it settled. There's a guy that told us the other day, I'm not optimistic about this thing getting settled quickly.
That's right. Look at some of the nicknames the writers have come up with. The Phony Niners, the Jet Lags, the Illegals, Counterfeit Bills, the Masqueraders, Shams, Paul Bears, St. Elsewhere's, and the Subskills.
What's that make us? What's that make us?
I tell you, Buddy Ryan might be 100% right. His replacement team could be awful.
A year ago this week, these 2 teams met, and it was a big game. Minnesota came in 3-1, Chicago undefeated, and the Bears won it. We expected that same kind of scene today, and would have had it, save for the strike. But as a result, we've got the replacement teams playing here for the 2nd week in a row, and we have no score. Chicago front office folks thought they'd get a crowd of 30,000 to 35,000 today. Pretty good crowd on hand, but will they come back now that the strike talks have been broken off? Let's go down to Irv Cross. Irv?
I'm down here in the end zone, Vern, with a bunch of diehard Bear fans. They've just gotten this word. They don't know that negotiations are broken off. You now know, of course. Would you continue to come to support the Bears if strike talks broken off?
Yeah, when we ordered tickets back in February, we planned on coming to see the regular Bears, but my brothers and my dad from Kewanee decided we're just going to come anyway because we're diehard Bear fans. We didn't care who was playing. We wanted to see the Bears play.
I know this lady's a diehard Bear fan, too. Do you have a solution to the negotiations?
Yes, I think they need a woman up there.
What could a woman do?
Oh, they could at least talk, because these men don't talk it, you know.
Okay, hey, Vern, there's the answer. Get a woman at the table. She can talk.
Hey, Irv, my wife, Nancy, just agreed to attempt the field goal. Missed 41 yards last week. Tony Adams will hold. Dawson, 23-year-old out of Eastern Kentucky University. And this will be a 31-yard effort near hash mark. Missed it. First and 10. Play fake, Hohensee. Looks at Kozlowski's wide open. Oh, boy, was he ever. Here's a young man who tried to make it this summer after having knee surgery, Glenn Kozlowski. And he's trying to support a family of 3 with another baby on the way.
Good play action pass. Here he is. He's coming in motion. He works in, and he works into the deep zone behind a nice deep stretching pattern. Good play action to freeze the linebackers. See, now the linebackers are up playing run. Now he works in behind them. Good protection. The ball's thrown right where it had to be thrown. Completed pass. And this guy catching the football caught 29 passes for McMahon when he was a freshman wide receiver and McMahon was a senior quarterback at BYU.
Certain ironies in the way things have evolved. Jim McMahon was out addressing the rally outside about 2.5 hours ago. Play fake again. O&C off balance throw. And a catch, no. Couldn't hang on. Kozlowski again.
Boy, I really thought that was pass interference, in this case on David Evans.
2nd down and 10. That catch is made. Nice grab. Kozlowski again.
He's having a great day. He told me yesterday in the locker room, he said, Coach, we may not be fast, but we are unique. He said, when was the last time you saw 2 Polish wide receivers in the National Football League?
I wonder where he and Kozlowski, Knapczyk, and Wojciechowski, where do you think they're going after the game's over?
I don't know, but they're going to have, I'll tell you this, they're going to have some real good sauerkraut, and they're going to have some, what do they call that stuff? Kielbasa. And it's good. A lot of garlic. Might even have a beer or two.
Yeah, I figured they might. Gary Mullen and Brian Glasgow have come into the game now. 1st and 10. Oh, nice play. Little counter play to the left side. Anthony Mosley, the rookie from Fresno State. 1st down, Chicago. First and 10, Chicago. No score. 7.5 to go in the 1st half. Delay play, right side. Lake Hemuli to the 11. Fought off the block. There's Wojciechowski. Ditka said he might have a future in the league.
I think he can play from looking at the tapes that I saw. I think he can play in the league.
Out of Michigan State. The trap play inside. And Hemuli powers down inside the 10 near the 7-yard line.
Ed Hughes, the offensive coordinator, coached 28 years in this league.
Sean Payton, the backup quarterback, number 17, out of Eastern Illinois, right behind Mike Ditka.
Well, he had a little trouble last week. They put him in the ball game, and he missed the signals and everything. He was so nervous and so excited about playing.
Of course, Chicago and Minnesota are playing with the replacement players because neither team has veterans who have crossed the line. St. Louis and Dallas lead the league with 18 who have crossed. 49ers play Atlanta later this afternoon. The Raiders with 13 and the Rams with 11. There are 6 teams with no defections.
Play 3 games. It has to count in playoff money.
Here they come. O&C, Kozlowski, touchdown.
Touchdown. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 73 defense. And 4th on the kickoff.
Now here's the receiver again coming in motion. He's going to work right in here against David Evans, who's chasing him in. Everybody's up coming after him. One-on-one situation. Here they come. Safety blitz right up the middle. He ricochets off, heads for the end zone. Nice throw. Good quarterbacking under pressure. Nice job by Hohensee. And they think Hohensee has a chance to play in this league.
There's Kozlowski, who's trying to make it back into the league. He was the last receiver cut. And Tim Lasher. There's a bad snap and a good hold. Hohensee saves the extra point with a nice job. And it was Hohensee to Kozlowski. Chicago leads. Mike, of course, has now become the winningest coach in terms of percentage over George Papa Bear Hallis. Mike became the head coach here in '82. Coach Hallis won 67% of his games over 40 seasons. That's just amazing. And Ralph Jones is number 3 on the list.
I've always respected Ditka's intensity, and it's something he can transmit to a squad as a leader. And he's brought these people together, whether they be the scab team or whether they be the veteran team. They play football together.
Minnesota and Chicago, 2 teams with great traditions. Remember the Purple People Eaters?
Alan Page, Carl Eller,
Jim Marshall. And the monsters of the Midway. And the guy in the middle was always Dick Butkus. Great tradition with the Chicago Bears.
Another guy like Butkus.
Dick is joined in that booth by former Cardinals great quarterback Jim Hart. Around the league, these are the league averages, and again, it's a matter of the level of competition, I think. But The points are almost the same. Total yards just down a little bit. First downs, same. Injury report from the Bear bench. Don Kent injured his right shoulder and will not return. Owensy back to throw. Across the middle. They've run that pattern all afternoon and with great success. Kozlowski gets the grab and David Evans the tackle.
Should be to the left, if I read the signal properly, really, because no, to the right. Odds are to the right in their offense. We'll see what they do.
Yep, got it. Brewer, hey! Congratulations to you and Chris Brewer.
Man's ability to get up over the top. Now, this is why they get in the I formation, so they can get him the ball back there deep. See how deep? Now, look at him leap up over the top. Now, if that was the real Bears, they'd have met him right in midair and tried to, of course, plant him in a deeper than just on the turf, too.
Tim Lasher will try the extra point. And the Bears have increased their lead to 14 now with 4:55 to go third quarter. Brewer got the touchdown, the 24-year-old out of the University of Arizona.
Well, Vern, when Tony Dorsett came into the Cowboy lineup, they booed him. A few plays later, with Danny White handing off to him, Dorsett scored, and Vern, they still booed him. Let's go back to you.
That is really interesting. That brings on Tim Lasher. And this time the kick is up and good. 26-yard field goal from Tim Lasher, who spent some time with the Rams this summer. And Irv Cross is standing by right now with the Bears' Mike McCaskey. Irv?
You know, your club is a very close football team. I'm talking about the A Bear team. Is that good or bad for you? I mean, they're all out as a group.
It's part of the great strength that led to winning football and championship years. During the strike, it's a very admirable quality, but it hurts as far as getting any of the guys to come down. As we get to know these players, as they see the enthusiasm and the spirit with which they play the game, I think they'll turn out in greater and greater numbers.
Thanks, Mike. Vern?
Thank you, Irv. That pass ruled incomplete, and there's the crowd. Last week, Denver led the league. New Orleans and Washington had crowds above 25, and Buffalo, Detroit, and Philly were the low three. And the kick from Tim Lasher is good, 27 yards out. And that increases the Chicago lead. Bears are up by 13.
New Orleans on the drive for pulling it out against St. Louis. Dwight Beverly breaks Earl Campbell's record for rushes in a game, but he fumbles, and the Cardinals pounce on it. And now St. Louis on the drive, leading 24-19. The Greek says when you have replacement ball, you got to look for some strange upsets. He said San Diego over Tampa Bay. Uphill, former UCLA quarterback Rick Neuheisel, 18-22. The winner with 13 minutes to go to Tim Moffitt, and the Chargers pull it out. Back to Vern.
Sure they will. Could cost them the playoffs if they go ahead and tell him.
Intercepted. Bruce McRae, touchdown.
The Packers moments ago unable to move. They had to punt it away. It was Todd Hans with a 4th and goal pass. Deadlocked at 13. 3.5 minutes to go. Detroit's ball. Back to Vern.
Thanks, Bears.
All of which gives Mike Ditka a 4-0 record.